8, Group B, Dark, TY, Cure, herO. Africa TV, Freak Up Studio, Live, 2023, GSL Season 2.
Welcome back, everybody. As I was saying before we went to the break, we've got a Terran, a Protoss, and a Zerg left. There's only one spot remaining in the round of 4. The round of 4, by the way, will be played in a week from now in this very studio, starting at 5 p.m. KST, so that's about an hour and a half earlier from when this show normally starts.
6 p.m. KST, I think.
I'm sorry.
I think. We'll confirm it when we outro the show.
We'll check in a sec. It's earlier is all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it is a little bit earlier.
So, right now we're about to eliminate a player here. TY has had a very poor performance in the round of 8, but it was also kind of weird games versus Dark. herO had some pretty unfortunate interactions with the builds. I think both these guys, I'm not saying that they're totally unlucky, but it was kind of a rough setup for them. Let's see how they fare here. TY is back from his military service. herO is hungry as the only Protoss in this round of 8 to advance to the round of 4.
2023 GSL Season 2. Guangdong Freaks, TY. DKZ Gaming, herO.
Okay, so, TY, first of all, it was kind of a cool surprise that he got to the round of 8. It was a cool surprise that he qualified. Whenever you have somebody come back from the military service, you really just don't know what to expect. I mean, it is a very time-consuming thing.
Oh, it's their birthday. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
herO is the Giga Chad Protoss.
Yeah, he is. We need him to win here. I would really like to see herO versus Dark as well.
Yeah, I would like
just
to
get
see
a PVZ here. See what that matchup looks like.
PVZ would be nice. Yeah.
Wouldn't it be fun to see a PVZ and be like, oh, so
watch me do it in just 12 pools twice in a row.
Neither of them are humans? That's weird. Now, we didn't really think TY was going to get this far, so it's cool that he's here. I think it's fair to say, as much of a god as he was, I don't think we really expect him to get super deep, although that would be a very cool story. Instead, he had a weird set versus Dark. I mean, Dark kind of just had an opener that was just superior. Not all builds are made evenly. There is risks when you're going to put proxy buildings in the middle of the map and all that. Sentry first, by the way.
Yeah, I like that.
So let's see what happens here versus herO. Now, herO, I do think, should be in considerably better shape and is clearly the favorite.
I wonder what the game plan is here with the Sentry.
Yeah, we don't normally see Sentry first.
Yeah, surely it's going to be for a Hallucination Scout, but if you spend all that gas on the Sentry, then it does allow you to free up yourself to do a little bit more with minerals, and I guess for him, the minerals are just going to be spent on a shield battery.
Yeah, battery.
It's perhaps the least exciting option of all the options.
Wow,
like a second gateway would have been more exciting.
This is why I like StarCraft.
Just a robo, so I guess it is just going to be relatively standard play from herO with a
It'll be nice, too,
Sentry.
if you want to bank anything with the Sentry energy-wise. I think that first Hallucinated Phoenix is coming out now, by the way.
Yeah, the only time that going Sentry feels bad is when you have a Reaper just coming around, running between your mineral lines and the mineral and the natural, and you're waiting for the first Adept to pop out of the gateway.
And the Sentry's like a fat cop trying to chase him.
That's like one of those mall cops on what do they call those little things? It's segways, yeah.
Only he's down on his Segway.
It's low battery, that's it. Just rolling around on the ground. Well, the Hallucinated Phoenix Scout here for herO will reveal the 1-1-1 build from TY with an expansion. And response from herO just for now going to be to add to the second gateway. Imagine we will see a Twilight Council from him very soon as well. Oh, in fact, going for an Immortal soon. Huh. Quite early.
Yeah, this is cool. You know, I wasn't expecting the Immortal just yet here. A lot of times we have the third base. I kind of thought he was just going to go for, you know, Blink Stalker 3 base, but he's got a kind of a different idea at play here. Tanks out and Medevac is coming. Widow Mines too.
I think the fear is against a 1-1-1 like this. If it's not, you know, 1-1-1 in TVP, it's generally either focused on getting some good harassment damage done or a push or kind of a mix of both.
Yeah.
And so for herO scouting this and not really seeing too much of a threat underway, it means that siege tank, or that factory's probably going to be pumping out siege tanks. Eventually you're going to take a third base as Protoss. It is going to be difficult to hold on to it.
So I think TY wants to push this little area at the top of the main base and hit the core and the gateway. Let's see how good this actually is.
This is a smart play, and now the Immortal really going to do some work. Just instantly takes down that siege tank, and TY is going to have to lift up into the main base. Is there a recall available? There is. So the Widow Mine got rallied into that army, so was taken out.
I mean, so far herO has had like a masterful handling of this.
That's a nice catch.
He throws the forge down too, knowing he can, you know, spend a little bit of extra money on upgrades here.
And if he hadn't gone for that Immortal, this wouldn't have been possible for him too, right? So that's also a very good read.
He might actually trap this. Oh.
Yeah, there should be enough dead airspace at the left side, but getting more damage done on that Medevac always feels good as Protoss. And behind this, TY just powering up with more barracks. He's not going for a third base just yet. Even only one engineering base, so skimping on that too. And hero's just going to expand. Now the probe did not glimpse the Liberator, but there are 4 Stalkers here in the natural expansion, so you gotta think this is gonna be taken out, especially now that it's sieged. herO. All right.
herO.
took a moment.
herO. Oh, Micro Machines picks him up. Okay, so look, I mean, TY's had his attempts, but it is a lot of units that have been killed off and have not really gotten much done.
Especially losing the siege tank there in the Widow Mine means that you lost a lot of factory production time. And in the early game of TVP, the factory kind of functions the same way as the Robo, where you really want to get maximum value out of all the production time that structure has. And so throwing away, you know, basically a minute worth of produce from that building, it dampens your push a little bit. And it does feel like TY is gunning to go for a push.
Well, it might not even dampen his push as much as it might. He might not be able to hold a third base too.
He's not going.
Oh, he's not going to go for one. Yeah,
that's
no, good correction. I mean,
why I keep focusing on it is TY just seems fixated on going for this.
So it's going to be just that 2-base kind of almost all-in-ish attack. This is 2 Templars here.
Going for Storm.
Yeah. He could also, if he can find a Medevac, you know, maybe zap it.
Is an opportunity. I think we might have a Storm drop though. We'll see how much he decides to bank this. You know, it would be a really nice play if he was able to catch that Raven and get a feedback off on it, but instead it just seems like he's happy to wait until Storm is done.
It might be better to have the Storm used for the push. I mean, you know, killing workers at this point, especially as the push is inbound, is like not anywhere near as valuable as just killing the attack itself.
Yeah, that is true, but you also have to consider that the first fight went so well for herO. Now as Storm Drop comes in.
Okay, not bad. 6 kills. Here comes the attack, by the way. Another Storm over there.
Yeah, with 2 Templar with Storm ready, oh, this Widow Mine's going to get some good damage done. So much better than a Storm Drop.
It is better.
You also have to run down and kill these things now. That's big.
You don't even have to upgrade the attack ability on those Widow Mines either. They start with that.
Archon drop down here for herO, but going back to the decision to go for a Storm drop instead of leaving those Templar back at home to deflect the push, I think that herO might have just been feeling so confident from the early deflection, you know, killing a siege tank, killing a Widow Mine, getting a good chunk of bio units taken out when TY tried to siege this position here with the Cybernetics core. That was a lot of momentum that he gained. And oh no, this one actually did not get clear. There is an armory out, so herO just completely missed this Widow Mine in the natural expansion. Now he's going to try and clean up this force, but doesn't quite have the gateway count to get it done.
Yeah, he's still in pretty good shape, all things considered. I mean, it does not appear to be a game where TY is ever going to get the upper hand and push a base. And the counterattack's coming. It does look a little bit funny seeing a Protoss with more bases running towards a Terran on 2. But what's actually back at home? Not a lot.
Yeah, just 2 Widow Mines here in the natural expansion as TY is looking to go for a base trade, basically. He's going to try and hunker down in the main base. More Zealots being warped in, but 4 Mortals on the low ground. I think herO might be able to break this, but it is a scary situation with this base trade taking place back at home.
It's true. You know, Terran can do a lot with a little here. The problem is that there's so much muscle and enough Nexi that you could probably... Oh, he can even just do this. Yeah, this is acceptable as well. He's just going to probably send some workers back home and make a Nexus inside the main or the natural.
He can even recall those probes out of the main base to the 3rd should he want to. We'll see if he decides to do that now as these probes going to reach the base of TY. Natural expansion has lifted off, but it will burn down.
So I think that this is actually checkmate. Yes, they're both doing a lot of damage to each other. That CC just burns down. There is one command center that's getting away. There's one that's going to be killed right there, but there was one on camera a second ago.
There might not be any buildings left for TY, actually. It's a rare sight in these base trade situations where Terran just loses all of their structures, but that might happen. I mean, everything is just so low on HP. The 3rd command center here for TY will eventually get cleaned up. herO's re-expanding to the 12 o'clock position, and there's no buildings for TY in the corner.
Yeah, there's no location that he can take right now where it's like you need to get a, I don't know, a Phoenix or something like that to take it. Funnily enough, he makes the command center. Was that before or after the last CC was killed?
It was after, but he wasn't revealed yet. There is that countdown before structures actually get revealed. So herO doesn't know exactly what the game state is, but I think he's got to be comfortable with his position.
Yeah, I think he's got this no matter what.
You'd probably feel a lot better if he had Blink and could actually chase down these medevacs.
What is happening? No.
What?
What?
herO?
What?
This basically doesn't happen at GSL.
Okay.
All right, some technical problems it seems is the...
It turns out those destructible plates at the bottom of the ramp,
They disconnect you from the game.
That's where the server is. Can't attack that. That's
the
where
modem's hidden down
yeah,
there.
that's where the router is for the GSL.
All right, so I imagine we're probably just going to resume from replay from this position, and maybe a couple seconds earlier. I don't know
if
exactly.
We can. I think GSL's off.
We got to cancel it.
We got to cancel
We're
the
just going to
tournament,
go back
guys.
to the round of 16.
The prize pool's getting returned. That's it. We're back in
the
game.
game's resuming. herO just paused it.
It's okay. Now we're messing with production. Oh, no, it's back on again. Nah, not really. That's weird.
Yeah, the game resumed for about 5 or 10 seconds, and then herO paused it. And
we can hear the wind. Listen.
yeah, it's quiet.
Listen.
Yeah, I think what's probably going to happen is we're going to rejoin from the replay, because it wasn't like the game got unpaused and we continued. It was just that the lag stopped and herO reconnected, and then battle commenced. And obviously the players are not ready for that. And also him like attacking the rocks there, it makes sense that he wasn't actually connected to the game. So probably 5 or 10 seconds before that.
Yeah,
I have to see when the last command was issued.
So they're going to load that game up here.
Yeah.
We'll hop into that. It's weird that like never happens in GSL, but
I don't think it's ever happened in a LAN that I've casted like this for StarCraft 2. That's really surprising.
Does. That's what my foreign event experiences are like. Where I'm like,
a lot of
is this what other casters deal with?
I want to say, by the way, we are blessed that we're able to actually resume from replay in StarCraft 2. There are some RTSs
let me tell you something
that I will not name who actually, even in the year 2023, you can't pause, you can't resume from replay. Yeah.
I've had some
bad out there.
Some games back in the old days in StarCraft 1 where I'm working and it's like an hour-long game and it crashes and I'm like, oh, I'm not going to go home. herO's PC lost internet. Okay,
yeah,
so
I actually think we can look at the referee here on our screen. It seems like they're trying to figure out exactly when the last intentional command from herO was issued to decide when to resume from replay, which is a smart way to do it.
Yeah.
Good admin teams here at the GSL.
we got the best of the best, honestly, out here.
Yeah, but
So-
back in StarCraft 1, and maybe this is incorrect, but I'm under the I heard before that really early on in StarCraft 1, you could like you could like play a replay and it would just play a different game, like the way that it was coded.
Oh,
Is
no,
that
no.
true?
Well, you couldn't. First of all, you could never resume from replay.
Yeah, but you would play the replay and the outcome would be different sometimes, right?
The replays could get bugged.
Okay. That's
Sometimes
so crazy
you'd be looking
to
at
me.
two pros and be like, that's weird. They haven't moved really anything for like 3 minutes. And you're looking like SCVs are just like queuing up in like a circle around the command center.
That's fun.
It's actually kind of unfortunate because a lot of these really big old games, like important historic games, the replays don't work in StarCraft 1.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
It's just gone. I remember when I first moved here, the airline lost my my PC. Like I brought a desktop. And it had my replays on it.
Yeah.
And at the time, I was kind of like, wow, like that was all my games. Because I had saved all the important games. Didn't matter now. I was ahead of my time. Everybody was screwed, though. All the replays eventually bugged out.
Yeah, I remember I had a hard drive fail. This is like maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and I
Yeah.
had all of my StarCraft 2 games saved. I saved every single replay from when I can't remember when. It was whenever I got that PC, and it was easily over 10,000 games. And I was just like, really? Like I'm losing all of those.
Man. Yeah,
I was like, I played this game like 8 hours a day, like 6 days a week for like 5 years of my life, and like now I have none of that data.
Now it's gone. Although, how many will you actually go back and look at? That's another thing.
What I really did was I generally used, there were some really good programs. I don't know if they still exist that would basically like aggregate the data from your games, and you could see like your APM progress over time. You could see your win rates and different matchups
that's
progress
pretty cool,
across
actually.
matchups and across map pools and that kind of thing. And I mean, obviously, like it's hard to really do some in-depth analysis about that kind of stuff, but you get a big enough sample size, like
you
5
might find
years
out
of
some
playing
pretty
nonstop.
interesting stuff. Yeah, like
I mean, like I would play like 40 games a day back in the day.
Sure.
You know, and like that's like maybe 6 or 7 hours.
Yeah.
And just like that adds up over years and years and years and years.
Especially if you're playing at a high level, like the information you could kind of glean from that if you're able to kind of put it all together here. I think we're back in game.
It does seem like we're getting ready to load into the replay.
I think we're almost ready to go.
I think the first step was the admin determining exactly what the replay resume point would be, and now we're actually going to go into it.
So we're pretty sure the TY is just going to die. It looks like that's what's going to happen. We have to let the game kind of lead up to that point. We need a little bit more time.
Yeah.
So we're going to let the players know. And so we're good up here, but shortly this game will be back, and we'll be into it.
Yeah.
So
just a couple of minutes left, but I do think that TY doesn't really have a path to victory right now. herO has that expansion at the 12 o'clock. TY is re-expanding into his main base in the top right, and although herO doesn't know about it just yet, the observer is going to see the 2 barracks get built at the ramp, and that's going to be a very big tell. And
yeah, I mean, TY, you can tell it's TY playing today. Like, he looks good. He's got these cool ideas. They do seem to be wholly obsolete in the games we're seeing here today. Like, that push, we don't really see that often. It's like a bunker and a tank and some Marines, and he hides the SCV and the tank and the medevac, and then there's a Widow Mine coming out, and it's all set up to hit the gateway and the cybernetics core. And then it just gets there, and herO just murders it. It's like, it's not going to work in 2023.
A really smart decision by herO to go for that Immortal, too. We were wondering exactly what purpose it would serve, but I think he just scouted TY and knew the meta well enough that he could kind of figure out, surmise that this is the kind of push that TY's been going for.
You know what's interesting? Both Dark and herO, they did kind of, it looks really different, but it's kind of the same thing. They're forcing information right away. Dark went for roaches and lings really fast and just attacked. Because when that happens, Terran can't hide anything. They have to do everything that they can to stop what you're doing. And then in this game, it's like herO went for a sentry first and just scouts. And it's like, what are you doing?
That's a good point.
This is a good way to beat somebody that you're pretty sure you're already considerably better than. Is to just get in there and be like, okay, let's just force something to happen, because, I mean, an example of a game that was the opposite of this was Dark Cure, where Cure, like, literally was playing SimCity, like, 3000 for, like, the first 12 minutes of that game.
Right.
I mean, yeah, we could have just been casting city builders.
It basically
Cities
is
and
what we were
skylines
doing.
there,
You
yeah.
know, there were like these small little engagements, but
Yeah. And,
not much else.
And with the TY games, it's like let's just. This is probably not the best way to play against a GSL champion, but with TY coming back from the military, let me just take a look at what he's doing and try to really hard counter that and give up some opportunities that I maybe could have created early on. If I was to, squeeze out more drones or make a third Nexus faster or whatever it's going to be, I think we're going to get this started.
It seems like the admin is asking the players whether they are ready, so we will be resuming from replay very shortly.
They are saying ready. We're going to go right back into that. If you're just now joining us, this is a base trade in the losers match. It's game 1, a PVT, herO versus Cure. Sorry, herO versus TY. And I think we're going to get into that right now. So it's looking like TY probably going to fall. I would imagine the rest of this game is going to be shorter than the little break we've had here at the desk.
Oh, for sure.
And then we're going to be going into game 2, which is probably going to be with TY down 1. And, again, Dark is waiting in the winner's match for the winner of these two.
Yeah.
3 Terrans in the finals.
Already.
The way God intended it. So
I feel like TY, he's going to have to go through a gauntlet playing against Dark again and herO.
I think it's physically impossible that TY could get out of this.
Yeah, I do think we're going to have at least a Protoss or a Zerg in the top 4, but been wrong in the past. We'll see if TY can, pull a rabbit out of the hat here and
well, I know the
show
fans
up.
online are all clamoring for 4 Terrans.
Absolutely, I know.
Right now, the consensus online is that the worst part about StarCraft is that there's too many races, and so if we could just get it down to 1, we'll finally be happy.
Sure, there's a significant number of viewers who are also very excited for the prospect of being the first one to post that we have 2 top 4s with only Terrans on Reddit for the 2nd season in a row.
That's right.
I get all those free points. But,
so replay recovering.
Yeah, I actually forgot how long it took to go through this process.
Feels like it's been a very long ordeal to get just to resume from replay.
I think
this
it has
normally
to.
happens faster.
The way the engine works, I think it actually still has to play through basically the entire game up until this point because the replay file is just like saving commands, right? So it just does that off screen.
I think that is literally correct, yeah.
Yeah, it does take a while. All right, game is starting again. We'll get that on screen in just a moment as the countdown has begun.
All right,
and
here we
go.
No, not the plates. That's where the server is.
He gets hexed again and disconnects once more.
Yeah, I know.
All right, a lot of Widow Mines actually here at the top of the rim. Oh, many Stalkers getting taken out. Keep in mind, there are 3 Templar in that Warp Prism. Well, struggling for a little bit to get my bearings back in this game again.
Not a lot of energy on them.
Yeah, there's no way to break this.
Yeah, there's no way.
No way to break this whatsoever, I think, is... I don't even know if TY has gleaned exactly where the Nexus is, although he might be able to surmise that after having seen all this. And oh my goodness. This is rated R.
Yeah, that's brutal. Oh my God.
Oh, the probes! No! The probes, the 4 probes. I think more probes died to the storm there than died to TY's army. And from this position, you got to think that TY is going to be tapping out. 29 supply, 14 army supply. The Nexus is going to be able to gather. There's no... With my limited experience casting, even if I had years under my belt, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't be able to hype this up in any impactful way. That is not going to kill the Nexus.
Maybe the SCVs get it. No, GG.
Like
learn from a pro. Okay. Well,
that was anticlimactic.
That crashes, a good amount of our lives we're never going to get back. So, herO wins and handily. And we're going to go into game 2 pretty soon here. I do believe a player has requested a break.
I imagine it's going to be TY because, now he is really on match point for his tournament survival here.
Yeah.
And GSL S2. It's been a really fairy tale run for him, coming all the way from basically not competing in StarCraft 2 to getting top 8 in the most prestigious StarCraft 2 tournament of all time.
Yeah.
And basically his debut performance, which is, it goes to show how much he's been practicing back at home. And getting top 8, it's really an incredible feat, but right now up against the ropes here against herO.
I think that unless TY has a lot of other great stuff planned out here, he's kind of going to peter out.
It does feel that way.
I am very excited for a PVZ, though. Yeah. I'm very interested in seeing who would take that. Dark already really showing a lot of brilliance and the same kind of solid, strong performance we've seen so many times before. On the other hand, we've got herO, who really revolutionized the matchup just recently, and it's kind of changed the way that we look at how Protoss can engage with Zergs. For TY in that last game, and I'm sorry, I feel like we rehashed so much of this because of that
Right.
downtime, but we really haven't had a game where TY's gotten anywhere near where he's supposed to be based off the opening that he's playing.
Nothing has gone right for him.
Nothing's gone right. I mean,
That's no exaggeration. In all 3 games, nothing really has
it's
gone
like Final
well.
Destination here for him. It's pretty bad. So I'm hoping that he gets a build. I mean, again, this is one of the great minds of StarCraft, but out of shape, coming back. We're in a period where we've got some of the best players right now serving their military service. So he's able to squeak in, and amazingly so, does manage to survive the round of 16. But I don't know, man. I mean, right now this group looks so solid with everybody else. It's like he's batting,
He's
I was
what?
gonna say below his average. That's not the first.
I was like, is this a baseball reference?
I was like, baseball. You take it, go.
Did you mispronounce Batman? Like, what's going on? He's Batman without his Robin. But
He's Batman without any of his
anything in that belt.
Batarangs and his Batmobile.
I don't watch Batman very much, so I don't know really what
You
tricks
know
he has.
what
He
I'm
got
talking
smoke
about.
screens.
What are you above this? You don't know what the Batmobile is?
I know the Batmobile.
What
I
are you,
just-
my grandmother?
No,
You're
but
like, what?
Batman, he's got all these like little tools in his utility belt. I don't know all the tricks he's got. He's like
You
Inspector
knew the
Gadget,
Batmobile.
basically. I knew the Batmobile.
He has his
but
Batarangs. He's got his
Batarang, is that what it's called?
Yeah, they're
Batarangs.
boomerangs, but they're bats. Yes. Yes.
I actually don't know about
He's
that.
got a grappling hook that probably it's a bat something grappling
I
hook.
know about the grappling hook, yeah.
Yeah.
What else does he have? Pop quiz.
He's probably got some smoke bombs.
Of course, you
He's
got to have
got
a smoke bomb.
He's got
I feel like Inspector Gadget's just like
he's
the better
got
version of
little
Batman.
things he throws that
They're like-
wrap
are they like
around your
shurikens?
feet. He wrap
Oh
around
yeah,
your
what
feet.
are those called? They're like shurikens, but they got the little.
They got
rope.
batarangs on them.
All right, the game
But
is
right
finally
now-
ready. You guys don't have to deal with this any longer.
Yes.
Let's
right
go
now
into
he's
game
like
2.
Batman, but he doesn't have any of this stuff, and it's like Batman pajamas. And it's really like he's at the bank also, but he doesn't have his wallet, he doesn't have his card or his ID. That's what it feels like.
I had a dream last night where I was trying to kill an Elden Ring boss that like didn't exist. It was like the Mushroom King or something. It's a real dream that happened. And I was raging against it. I remember I woke up
Kwangdong
because a
Freaks,
cicada
TY.
flew up against my window and was just screeching in my ear. Of course, it's cicada season right now in Korea. They're very noisy. I woke up very angry that I just like couldn't beat this boss in my dream. And I feel like
man.
that's kind of what TY is going through
You
right
are
now
truly
here.
a pro gamer, man.
That's
It's
just-
crazy
I'm a
that you
nerd.
can't beat the
Hero.
hardest single-player games that are out there.
But I feel like that's kind of what TY is going through right now, where like
Yeah.
this kind of is one of those like you're trying to like run away from this like monster and like your legs like don't work or something, or like you're out in your underwear like it's school. And this is TY against Dark. You know, he goes for these two kind of cheeky builds. Dark goes roaches both times and just hammers him early on. It's one of the fastest series we had in Codas. And now
Yeah.
here against herO, game number 1, he goes for that tank push and just completely gets the rug pulled out from under him.
Yeah.
Nothing's gone his way, and I feel like it's kind of a disservice to him, just the way these games have gone, considering how well he played in the round of 16, but I do hope we get at least one good game from him in this series, because
Yeah, I mean, I would like
he deserves
to.
it.
You know, and by the way, if some of you guys are asking, like, well, I mean, he seems like he's not playing as well. Why did he, why is he in GSL? A lot of the players will just show up to the qualifiers and play. I mean, you can do that.
I could
Why
probably
not?
play in those qualifiers
Yeah,
and lose.
yeah. Well, we all could, actually.
Let's do it. Let's go. Let's
We should
qualify.
all
Taste.
qualify and lose.
Let's go home and start practicing.
But, so yeah, I mean, why not, right? And see if he can come down.
He made it a good way through as well. Keep in mind that first group he competed in, Maru, Classic, and Bunny were his opponents, and he got second place in that group. That's a stacked group. So he definitely deserves to be here in the round of 8.
So now we got to watch and see, what is his plan here. We don't have a sentry first this time around. Not too shocking. I want to see if herO's going to do anything like a third base early on with Stalkers and Blink, or if he's going to do something a bit more conservative like he already did in the last game.
TY just playing quite safe back at home, going for what I imagine is going to be a 1-1-1 opening here, along with this command center. And I'm sorry, was the first unit that was a adept out of the gateway, right? So not mirrored builds here for herO. I think adept into Twilight Council is the opening of choice. So a little bit different, but I think as herO, you're going to move across the map here with this adapted. Oh, okay,
Ooh.
TY. I think herO's going to wish he had a sentry scouting this game.
Yeah. So we've got the starport hiding just between the two smoke screens in the middle of the map. And I mean, you have no tell here when you come up with the adept that anything's hidden.
I think you know that you're suspecting it's a starport. You're not expecting that it's going to be proxied on the map, although herO might be a little bit suspicious. He is scouting for it.
Oh.
Come on, give TY a chance.
Oh,
no.
No.
At least it finished.
Yeah, I was going to say,
It's a
imagine
silver lining.
he kills the SCV right before it finishes. It's like, all right. Well,
So
this
it's
is
gonna be a
awkward.
Hellion
It's
drop.
the worst feeling when your proxy gets spotted. You're just making stuff out of it. And you're like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work at all.
I mean, there still is an opportunity for TY to get a couple of probes here with 4 Hellions and a medevac, but yeah, definitely not going to have the surprise factor he was gunning for. What really hurts about this the most is that starport, when it has to lift up and go back home, you're going to miss, at least 1 or 2 rounds of production. Ooh, nice stack up there. 5 probes getting taken out. 6 in total.
Yeah. Okay, so that was pretty good.
Oh,
right.
TYU Gamer coming in the main
Coming-
base now.
He's going to try to get another
I
killer
love it
too.
from herO.
This feels like it's a little bit excessive. He's going to lose all the Hellions, obviously.
Yeah, but the Hellions also don't really serve much of
Why
a
are there 2
valuable role.
SCVs?
Oh, rally points.
Oh, yeah, that is literally exactly what that is. Look at that. Oh,
He was trying to heal. He was trying to repair the Hellions. Tasteless. I mean, for herO to go into the main base, though, those Hellions, he got 1 more probe, but he also got some scouting information, so he has a good idea that he's about to be in trouble because herO's going for, I believe, 3-gate Blink, with Blink just now finishing. 6 Stalkers already working their way across the map, and there is going to be some counter damage to be found here in the natural expansion. Already 3 SCVs going down.
Yeah, he's going to do a little bit of damage over here. The Warp Prism's out. I thought we might end up seeing him try to set something up in the main, but it might be too late for that as well. 5 SCVs down total. There is a blind spot in the main, right, for Terran?
Yeah, there is on the left side, but I don't think the Stalker count's going to be high enough to actually get something done, although herO is throwing down 2 more gateways.
Yeah, I think he is going to go for that kind of Warp Prism aggro style.
Yeah, the Twilight count, or Templar Archives, excuse me, on 2 bases.
Keep in mind, everybody, like, if herO wins, like, let's say he gets out of this group and survives, he has nothing but Terrans for the rest of the tournament. So, like, you might want to do something that's kind of a more basic strategy.
That's a very good
to
point.
actually move on. Because if you're going to be a GSL champion, it's not like, well, this is my build versus Terran, and then, I'll just do that every game. And so he might be trying to, like, just kind of come in here with a killing blow, hoping maybe TY's rusty enough he can't quite handle an older style that I think is still pretty solid, to be honest.
A lot of foreigners think so, too. I'm actually surprised that we don't see something like 4-gate Blink more often in GSL, considering the success that some European Protosses have been able to find with this build. But for herO, it's not going to be exactly 4-gate Blink. He's getting charged. He does have a Templar Archives. It's more of like a 2-base gateway bust.
All right, he's going to wait until he can get everything else in position over here.
And he's just waiting to reset that cooldown on Blink. Although TY with this defensive posture, I'm not sure.
I'm not sure what the plan is here.
I don't think herO can find that much damage, and even these missile turrets just kind of zoning out.
No, I
the
mean,
Warp Prism.
TY's buttoned up.
Oof.
So tight.
herO's just going to take a 3rd base now. This is not working.
Okay.
Oh, is that Stalker stuck? Warp Prism's got to save it.
So he just goes for Storm, which I guess is fine. TY definitely in a better game overall, though. He's had his moments. We did see the SCVs rallied. That's brutal. That's embarrassing, in a big match like this. But
I don't mind his position very much here, though. Losing the starport definitely sucks a lot here for TY, but as far as the army sizes go, not only is his larger, but it's definitely much better at engaging than what herO's been able to muster here, although TY desperately needs to get a siege tank in range to deal with these stalkers. Very annoying force of units here.
So Storm is going to be all done. Some of the same ideas from the last game. Obviously, we end up here in a very different way, right? But TY, he's actually ahead in army supply. He could very well do a push that could mess up herO. You know, we talked about herO maybe doing a build to try to kind of finish off TY so he can move on out and kind of keep his cards held close, moving on into the round of 4. But it has actually resulted in herO being behind.
Yeah, but I don't know. There might be an opportunity for herO to still kill TY here. Keep in mind, these Marines, they do not have combat shields.
Ooh, that was a bad storm.
That wasn't that great, but these Marines very low on HP. And actually, that's an ambitious blink into these Liberators. This is not the engagement that you want here as herO, as that was
really
massive
bad.
overextension. I thought there was some opportunity to get damage done, considering that TY, he still doesn't have combat shields, and Storm is on the field right now for herO. I mean, that makes it so much more precarious for TY to try and micro against these Templar, but herO just kind of headbutting his way through that position with, what, 2 or 3 siege tanks in a line, 2 Liberators also sieged up, just not able to make anything happen. And TY is just going to bunker down, throw down 2 more command centers and play for the late game, knowing that he's basically completely safe after 2 attacks from herO, basically walked through with no damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really liking this game more and more for TY. I think herO's made some pretty bad errors in judging where he could get in. I know a few minutes ago I'm like, well, maybe he just wants to try to kill him off. It did seem like that, but here we are, right? And TY is nearly at 160 supply, 85 army supply, by the way.
It's a very massive army here for TY with some Zealots coming into the natural now. We'll pick off a couple of SCVs, but I don't think Terran's going to mind that very much with these extra command centers finishing up. herO is really just kind of doing anything that he can. Nice storms.
That was sick.
Very well played.
Colossi coming out now. Does seem to be like a matchup where Storm is really coming first, and then Thermal Lance and Colossi later on. We've seen it a lot of times the other way around.
Yeah, and I feel like this meta is a little bit easier for Terran, or Protoss, excuse me, to play.
Yeah.
Going into Storm and then Colossus, but yeah, we'll see if it works out. So far here against TY, not very successful in game number 2. This herO,
right, here
once
we go.
again, is going to try to attack in. Luckily for herO, that siege tank is not sieged up. It's actually able to find some damage on these bio units, but still, this is a very small force. And I don't even know how much more army herO really has back at home. I think it might just be those 2 Colossus. There's very little on the map.
Well, it's exciting seeing herO have the edge. TY have the edge here. I want to see how he's going to try to use it. Right now he's basically just defending and doing pretty well. herO's definitely having his moments of getting kills here and there. But, we need to see that inevitable TY push come out, and whether or not herO with his control or his tactics in general, if he's going to be able to stop it.
Yeah, I think TY is basically just going to wait until he's maxed, maybe even with 2-2 upgrades before going out for that push, as he seems... another command center being built here for TY. Feels like he watched that game that Cure played on TVZ and is just like, I can do the same thing versus Protoss, I bet, It's a very similar style. He's just bunkering down with all these siege tanks. Liberators, a very defensive position.
Seems like herO's almost caught up. So much of this matchup is the accumulation of splash damage and just having enough that, like, as the Terran comes in, there's so many different things hitting you. And remember, Terran armies are always kind of brittle here. Nice EMPs.
The EMP connecting with a bulk of the Protoss armies. That sensor tower does get taken out. And TY now, with some aggression in the bottom left side of the map, going to try and take out some expansions here from herO. That's a good move.
So we're going to have that recall forced out. Meanwhile, yeah, I mean, it's basically herO sharking around the map, looking for openings, looking for opportunities.
I don't think he's going to be able to find one until TY tries to take a 5th base.
I think so. Well, you can see he wants to try to storm this area over here. That is a tricky base to hold. If you can get anything down there that can damage it. I wouldn't even mind seeing Protoss push down where those Templars were earlier. You can put Colossi there and hit those SCVs with Thermal Lance. But, you know, TY looks like with vehicle weapons finishing, this might prompt him to attack out. He is a 200 supply. This is not really a matchup like where you can do what Cure did to Dark, right? And just like sit back and be like, now it's your problem.
Yeah, Protoss just get a little bit better there. And now with Terran pushing into this position here at 12 o'clock, you're not going to be able to take that 6th base.
herO. All right, not terrible. So
this army for TY is so scary.
Yeah, some nice storms. Not that much getting killed, though.
I wonder what the medevac, okay, 7 medevacs in total on the field, so I was worried because it seems like we only have a couple of them here in the front of this army, but TY does have more healing in his back pocket as, you know, he's using this drop to kind of dislodge herO from this forward position and then set up over here. Nice dodge on that disruptor shot. And this is a position where I'm not sure herO can breach it easily, but looking at the minimap, it seems like he's going to go for it, Tasteless.
Yeah, he's coming in right now. There's a lot of tanks here in the back, but there's so much for herO. Wow. I mean, he just cuts right through this. The last 3 siege tanks are going to fall in seconds. And what opportunities have been created from here? I mean, herO, he's still ahead in bases. He's got quite a lot. It does seem like the harass here from TY has kind of dried up. And it's really just, you know, herO out on the map fishing for an opening. There is a fresh base over in the top right that's being taken.
Yeah, herO is re-expanding to that 12 o'clock position, and I feel like he's in a much better spot now after winning that fight. TY thought that he could just anchor himself there, and really, I did too, considering the spread that he had, but herO with some very nice control, caught TY off guard, and now able to push that advantage, attacking here into the 4th base of TY. Disruptor shots connecting with 2 ghosts as well as the siege tank. So this planetary fortress is going to fall. herO going to retreat now for a moment, allow those disruptors to recharge and replenish his army also with some warp gates. And now a fleet beacon, 2nd Stargate underway for herO. So he's already getting ready for the next step.
He's going to come in right now. This is so much damage. And again, this is such an important base. I'll tell you what, it's really nice to have that planetary sponge up that damage, but that position is lost here. TY fights back pretty well, but ultimately loses the spot he was trying to defend.
Yeah, now TY is on a 3-base economy, and what was once a very powerful Terran economic machine with a bank is now looking to be in basically disarray as TY is struggling to even re-pop this army here as more disruptor shots come in. Nice connections on more siege tanks, although some of the disruptors do get traded out. But herO on his side of the map, he just continues to expand. 12 o'clock is now secured by Protoss.
This is kind of a rough game to watch from TY's perspective. I mean, he just kills the command centers and sort of runs away. And you can always feel the loss in minerals when they kill, you know, any of those structures. There's going to be a counterattack coming in here. I don't see any Templars to storm. It doesn't seem like herO is going to try to come back and save this right away.
No, here's
instead. He is, excuse me.
Oh, he is recalling in, but he's got to be careful because that's a lot of high-tech units going to be in
right
basically
on top
melee range.
Yeah, this is, well, hold on a second.
He's got this Colossus just like never died. I kept waiting for it to blow up. Oh, what a disruptor hit. That connected with 3 or 4 siege tanks.
Yeah, he keeps having these disruptors like just walk right through this.
They got to get disruptors and auto attack like High Templar, man. So this
That's
doesn't
right,
happen
yeah.
anymore. That's what
like
we need.
a little disruptor ball they shoot out.
It's going to connect with like 1 Marine and blow it up.
Yeah.
All right, well, herO blinking forward, able to pick up some more units here from TY as, you know, the past couple of engagements, they have gone TY's way, but really economically, herO's in a much better position despite losing 12 o'clock. He's still sitting at 75 probes. He's re-expanding into the bottom left. He's on 3 robos right now, so the disruptors are really going to be plentiful here with a Remax And you got to think that herO, once he recharges his army, so to speak, is just going to come right back down onto this 4th and 5th base.
So, I mean, you know, the counter punch here from TY was pretty good. I think some of that we could chalk up, though, to herO kind of not controlling that well. Also, you don't recall your army when their Marines and Marauders are on top of that. Protoss have to utilize range against Terran and kind of try to take, you know, more favorable engagements. Stim anything right on top of anything other than Banelings is bad. That was hard to watch.
Yeah, that was very hard to watch. I think those Stuckers are still dying, but herO at least, I'm just watching the minimap, waiting for them to move. Finally, they get out of there, but herO on the right side was able to kill a good number of TY's siege tanks, so.
Yeah, I mean, it's...
Both players kind of missing their micro a little bit here.
It's a chaotic game, for sure. And I think there are these moments. I mean, I've lost count of how many disruptors have kind of moved through the rest of the army, almost like on a bad waypoint rally. We're in a phase of rebuilding here.
TY might just have enough right now to go kill herO. I think it depends a lot on these disruptor shots, but we're getting into the stage in the game for Protoss where he doesn't have any Storms, he doesn't have any Colossus. The only impactful AoE damage that he has in his army is the disruptors, and if he's not able to make something happen with those, then this army from TY, especially with the turrets getting set up like this, I don't know if herO is actually going to be able to break out of this position. This base might come down, and with it, a significant chunk of herO's economy. I feel like the past couple of minutes, herO has just watched his lead slip away with some really bad engagements, kind of like this one right now.
I mean, there it is, again, the disruptors. It's like...
I feel like he's not even looking at his army.
He must not be. I mean, there's other stuff happening on the map, but, you know, you cannot... There are some things that are easier to set and forget. You know, like Colossus, like Charge Lot or Stalker, you can kind of A-move somewhere, and even if you miss them engaging, they kind of sort themselves out. Stalker Disruptor's not. Stalkers die way too fast, and Disruptors, if you don't tell them to attack, I mean, they're just moving paperweights.
Yeah, well, at least herO's done a very good job of kind of forcing TY back home, because I feel like if TY just fixated on pushing down this 4th and 5th base with siege tanks, he would have had a good time of it, considering the only AoE still for Protoss is those few Disruptors that we see on screen. And now TY is just going to reconsolidate. He's going to come back to the 12 o'clock position and start to take down this base. Tempests are being added into the mix here for Protoss, but I'm kind of left wondering whether he's going to have enough. Luckily, though, for herO, this Warp Prism is getting so much done. The fact that this is still going on in the main base of TY and intercepting reinforcements is just money in the bank for Protoss right now. It might be really the difference maker in this game.
Yeah, I mean, the Tempests are actually a pretty good move. Disruptors, excuse me, I can't talk right now. Fire. Yeah. You know, they're going to be pretty good as well. I do think that right now the inside of the Terran's base is getting rotted out. And so I think that, like, that's just another way to lose this game.
Yeah, there's basically no bio.
TY puts up a fight. Well, he can't ever, like, reinforce until he cleans this up. And then if the moment that happens, he just recalls it. See you later.
That's a big win for herO. I feel like I'm getting whiplash watching this game, where herO has a really big lead and then he kind of throws it away, and then TY,
yeah, it's
has the advantage and bungles it a little bit, like to that Warp Prism drop in the main base. And I don't think that's because these players are playing poorly. I think it's just the nature of how chaotic this match has been.
Yeah, I think it is fair to say it's not been their best, but you know, at the end of the day, I think that you know, this may be terminal what's happened to TY here. I don't know that he can actually recover from the damage that's been dealt. And now we're probably going to see the final push in. I mean, let's wait and see how these disruptor shots connect.
They're going to be really good because the army here for TY is almost exclusively siege tanks. He has 8 of them and a very small accompaniment of Marines, Marauders, and Ghosts. So not a very mobile force here for TY, as the disruptors at this point can just kind of waltz in and take out this siege position. And I think we're going to have herO moving on to the final match of Group B here in the round of 8. That means we will not have 4 Terran players in the top 4.
The dream is alive. It's going to come down to the bugs and the aliens to see who's going to take this. We'll wait for TY to tap out, but at the end of the day, in a pretty tumultuous game for him, herO will be advancing 2-0. That's going to be that. GG.
Really a wild game. It almost reminds me of herO versus Nightmare, that PvP that we casted in the round of 16.
Yeah.
Where,
look at herO, by the way.
You can tell he's not happy with this win.
He knows when you're playing a game like that where it's like, oh my God, I can't keep on top of everything. What is happening? And he doesn't have that much more time left here. I mean, we're about to go into this next match. He's going to be up against Dark.
He's going to have to play a little bit better against Dark, I think.
Dark looked really good. Dark did not seem to be having any issues. TY, always an honor to have him back in the GSL. We'll see if he's back again as a player or a caster or maybe even both. Guys, short break. We come back. Dark vs herO, the final match in the round of 8.